All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Talk Wave. Are you out there? Keala, there you are. Okay, I'm going to send. I see it. Here we go to Keala Kennelly. Send. Okay, if you see that I've sent you that request, by accepting it should split our screen. Here we go. Waiting for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you, Keala Kennelly. Yes.
Bryn, what's up, Alex?
God, I knew you'd look better than me.
How's it going?
It's going, it's going.
How's quarantine life? How's quarantine life?
It's crazy. Here in Los Angeles, our beaches are still closed. So it's 50 some odd days of no access to the beach or the ocean, and for us surfing.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's crazy. It's a reminder of how great surfing is, huh?
Absolutely. We're so lucky.
Where are you now?
I'm on Oahu. Luckily, you can still surf here. It's not illegal. I haven't been surfing that much, though. I've kind of just been diving into home projects and just taking the stay-at-home orders pretty serious. And I think I painted every room in this fucking house by now.
It's funny. I went to Ace Hardware to get a key copied, and they were so busy. And the guy's like, "Oh, it's the busiest you've ever been." People are painting, gardening, like doing everything.
Yeah, because people are forced to stay in their houses, and they look around and see all the things that the projects they've been putting off, and that. I need to fix that thing. I need to fix that light fixture. It's in your face. You can't not see it right now.
It's good. Maybe, for me, surfers will become handymen for the first time ever. Or women.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm such a handyman. I'm building a she shed right now.
What's that?
A she shed?
Is that like a man cave, but a she shed? Oh, yeah. What's in your she shed? Let's start this off
she shed
on a high note.
No, I'm attempting to build a surfboard storage room. So like a shed for boards. Awesome. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
I recently rented my house out, and I have a storage unit, and I hope nobody ever sees it, but it's mostly for surfboards. And I go, God, I'm so lucky in life. This is what I need to store. But They take up more room than everything. I was looking around. I'm like, I don't need this. Somebody else take this for your comfort. But the boards, I need them all.
Need every board. Whole quiv.
So, KK, the first time that I got to meet you, and looking back, it's funny. This actually just dawned on me. Was on a boat in Fiji. We were on a Red Bull trip.
I remember that. We got super skunked. It was like flat spell for like 2 weeks. I think I gained like 15 pounds on that boat.
Yeah, we didn't even surf, but we were on it wasn't a yacht, it was a cruise ship. Like there was, I think, 60 rooms and 20 of us?
It was pretty insane.
It was insane for me because I think I was like 19, and that was Andy, Bruce, Mick, Ian Walsh, you, and I was like trying to.
Sophie Milanovich.
Was she on there too?
She was on there. She was the only other girl on there.
Oh my God. Yeah, see, I was just trying to keep my cool around you guys. It was like, oh my God, these are all my heroes. And you guys were all so cool. But especially you, I was like, I remember hanging out going, this girl. Because prior to that, I'd seen you up on, I think, a surfer pole stage. And that might have been the greatest stunt I'd ever seen, where you had written something on your underwear. And that's how I knew you. But then the coffee Keala that I met in the mornings on that boat was so, I was like, this chick is rad. Like, that's why I fell in love with you. Going, you're just cool, and I've always enjoyed having talks with you, outside of your professional career. When you become a friend of yours, you're such a just down to earth, awesome person. And I've researching.
I have really gnarly resting bitch face, so people think I'm just gonna be like really cunty in real life, and when people meet me, they're so like surprised. They're like, "You're so nice, like you're so sweet, you're so loving." I'm like, "Yeah, of course I am." But I don't know. I guess I look mean.
It might have been your glasses and Blue Crush that really got everybody going.
Yeah.
Because that said,
or the mullet. The mullet in Blue Crush was splendid. It was a splendid mullet.
What's your favorite hairstyle been?
I've liked like fro hawks and stuff like that. I've actually been in quarantine. I've been trying to grow it out a little bit. I want to do like an undercut when I get out of here. When we get out of quarantine. I've actually been cutting it myself. My brother came over some clippers and we like cut each other's hair. And I already bleached my own hair, so I'm keeping it looking good in quarantine. I'm not letting it all go to shit.
No, you stayed true to yourself.
Yeah, I will tell you this, Alex. My med spa is opening next week, and you best believe I made an appointment to get so much Botox in this face. I can't wait.
Are you a Botoxer?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the part where I get a little bit discouraged. People call it preventative, and
It's
I look at it,
preventative
I'm preventative of what?
of becoming like a leather handbag.
Oh man.
Come on, it's like we surf, we like squint at the ocean all day. Like you're looking at the horizon with the sun like bouncing off a reflective surface in your eyes, squinting all day long. It's preventative.
Holy crap, I love it. You're the most honest human in the world. That's why I really wanted to talk with you.
Oh yeah. Oh damn. Here we go.
Cool. So when people are like, "Hey, what wave are you going to surf when quarantine's up?" You're like, "No, I'm going straight to Botox."
Oh, I'm going straight to my med spa.
Oh my God, it's too good. So Keala, get to post a photo of you to tell everybody's doing this, and it's the airdrop at Jaws. And
I
I
didn't pull that one,
actually,
Alex. I didn't. That one didn't end well. That did not. I didn't stick that one.
there's been a lot. There's been a lot that haven't ended well, but there's been a lot that have. Like, it's insane. It's 50-50. And with you, I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, there is no anything under than 100%. Like,
Yeah.
everything that you do is going to end in entertainment for us. I
Yeah.
don't know about for you,
It's
but for the
it's a
world.
it's a train wreck either way. I mean, you can't not watch. I mean, it hurts me more than it hurts you. I promise.
So did it start in the beginning years? Because I remember a interview, I think it was of Bruce Irons, and riding for Volcom as a kid, I always admired Bruce and his surfing. But he's a little kid, and you're brought up like, yeah, and there was Keala, and she beat me in my first contest.
Who said that, Andy?
It was either Bruce or Andy.
I think it was Andy. Yeah, he didn't talk to me for like a month. I was so bummed.
How old were you?
We were young. We started competing when we were like, I don't know, 9 and 10 years old.
Did you grow up with surfing? Was it something passed on from your father, or how did it
Yeah, so
happen?
like my father is he's like a surf Nazi. He is basically like a Grom in an adult body. Like the guy surfs more than I do. He's just so stoked on it. And so he passed that on to me and my brothers. And like it just like when people ask me like what was your first wave? Do you remember your first wave? And I'm like, no, I was in diapers. Like I don't know.
Wow,
You know, my mom was pregnant surfing with me. Does that count? Like I was surfing before I was born, bro.
that's
It's just
awesome.
it's just always been a part of my life. Like there, you know.
Did you go to school throughout there before you jumped on the QS to make the tour?
Yeah, so I went to Hanalei Elementary School, and then I went to Kapat High School, which was really rough as a haole. And I realized my junior year that I would be coming back for my senior year to take like 2 classes. And the idea of spending another year at this shitty high school that I hated instead of just like going like I was just like I want to go get on the tour. Like why do I have to come back for 2 credits? So I took like two correspondence classes through the mail and graduated a year ahead of my class and then just straight on tour.
Oh, that's awesome. Good
Yeah,
for you.
I didn't want to waste time.
Were you sponsored by Billabong at that early of an age?
No, so I didn't have a lot of sponsors until like I think I got picked up by Billabong right around the time like I did the first chokes contest. It was a QS, and then I kind of got some attention for that, I think, and then I think I got.
Was that when it was the gotcha contest?
Yeah,
There was
yeah,
a female part of that as well?
yes, yeah,
No way.
yeah. We that was actually the first time I almost died was when I went over for that contest because you know how chokes is like you can't really tell how big it is from the point. Like it's so far out in the water, and you're like, is it 2 feet? Is it 20 feet? I don't know. I can't tell. And so I went out, and I was like so excited. You know, I just like pulled up to the channel, and I was just like so. I seen a 6 foot barrel just peel off, and I was just like, I'm out there. So I just grabbed one of my boards and like paddled out there. Like I was so psyched. I didn't even take the tape off the fins. Like they were glass and fins back then. And I freaking paddle out there and I sit right next to Shane Dorian. He's like, "Oh, you're charging today, huh, KK?" And I was just like, whatever. It's like 6 feet. It's cool. It wasn't 6 feet, Alex. It was like 12 feet. Hawaiian. It was gnarly. And I paddled for like one of like it like 6 footers that what didn't even break because it wasn't 6 feet. And I turned around and there was a freaking like one of those 12-foot black ones. And I, this is pre vest, pre anything. I just had board shorts and a rash guard, and I just got so licked and just held under, pinned on the reef for 2 wave hold down. I remember Johnny Boy goes in the channel. He goes, "Oh, I thought I saw you die. Like I was sure you're dead."
Was that before the contest, like a warm-up surf?
Yeah, that was like the warm-up. And then it never actually dropped below like 10 to 12 feet the whole time. So they actually ended up moving the chicks down to one of the other reef passes. And they had the guys out at Chope, so it was gnarly. I think that was the year Conan Hayes maybe won. It was psycho that year.
God, I'm trying to think back. There was Conan and Kobe, right?
I think it was Kobe. It was between
and
those two.
And they were dropping tens. And
they're dropping tens.
There was controversy because
yes.
Kobe's were better, but Conan had already got a 10, and I don't think judges had ever seen surfing in a contest like that.
No, that was bananas.
You were there. You watched that.
Yeah.
Wow, and that was a QS for you to make it on the tour?
Yeah, that was like gladiator as gladiators it gets.
Holy crap. Yeah. That's crazy. I got chicken skin right now because for those that don't know, it was monumental in surf contest history. Things were being done other than pipeline at Waves of Consequence, which we all know Chopu now. But when you see it for the first
time. At the time, I didn't know. That was the first. I'd never even heard of that wave. And
there you go.
Betty DiPolito's like, hey, there's a QS event in Tahiti. Like, you're going to love this wave. It's right up your alley. Like, it's, let's go. And I was like, I'd never even heard of it. And then when I saw it, it was just like, whoa, this is the seventh wonder of the world right here.
Okay, so this is an interesting subject, fear, and what it means to you in listening, like, okay, yeah, that was a contest that I wanted to pursue my dream from. That morning I almost died, but I decided to put a jersey on, and I'm guessing you won that contest?
Yeah.
Fear, and I've been talking to a lot of teenagers this day and age, and fear has a few responses, but simply put, fight or flight. And we're not really taught at a young age to use it to do something to make us bigger and better from. How did you implement that in your life? And how have you used an emotion like that to overcome challenges, to do, things like become, which is a whole list here we'll get into, like you've accomplished so much.
Well, I think my bipolar do with my success, honestly, Alex, because like when you have all these like really intense emotions, caused by the chemical imbalance in your brain, and you get a lot of like bad feelings or anger, or just like a lot of pain, or just like a lot of like I just kind of like bottle that up, like it's almost like a dark rage that I hold on to. I'd never like want to be like one of those people that like puts anger on other people. I never want to unleash that on me, but like push it down inside of me, and then I feel like I've been able to release it when I go crazy big waves. When I go sad, that's when I get it out of me.
That's interesting that you bring up anger. In my journey, and my journey is with grief, losing my brother, I ended up using anger as my tool to perform because I couldn't do it sad or depressed. Are you there? KK, are you back? Can you see me? Can you hear me? I don't know why I can't hear you. I love the internet. I might end it. Yeah, there you go. Welcome back. Thanks for dealing with our internet technology. KK, if you're out there, that was awesome. Let's pick up where we left off. There we go. You're such waiting for you to join. Thank you for being. You're a pro.
Welcome back.
Okay, I'm gonna turn off.
You were saying.
I'm gonna turn off commenting now. Oh, I love that you brought up the bipolar, and then when you went into it, the way that I can relate to you is on the anger piece. In my journey losing my brother, the depression, anxiety, sadness, the weight of the world on me, I couldn't perform at 18 years old on trying to be on a worldwide stage, but I found anger. And
yeah. Well, that's part of the 5, like, dealing with grief. Isn't that like one of the 5 steps? There's like anger, there's like bargaining, there's, I don't know, there's like 5 of them, Alex.
Well, the funny thing is within all of this, I haven't looked any of it up. Like, I've really just, like, for better or worse, made mistakes and lived it. And I start talking with therapists and professionals, and they start defining things, and they do this. I'm like, oh, that's what that is? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going through it, and I've been very impressed with you, with your willingness and being open and vulnerable. I mean, look, really where you did it was coming out and being an openly lesbian surfer. Like, I don't know anybody in our lifetime. There's probably others, but especially in the male world, people haven't done that.
Yeah.
And
well, yeah, it's not very well received when I did do that, but.
And I wonder what was, now that I've grown, I'm an adult. I met you when I was a kid, and I've grown up a little bit since then, hopefully not too much, but I didn't know what that meant then. What is that like? Because I know our industry, and they're so harsh that I have so much sympathy and I have so much respect for you, especially now coming out of it, that I reflected today, and I was like, I have to talk to you about this because it means more than anything now, more than ever.
Yeah. It was really hard. I mean, when I graduated high school early and jumped on the tour, I had never been with a girl before, but I knew I was probably gay, and I just was too terrified to act on it. And even like before I got on tour, I was already getting the telltale cautionary tales of like, careful, there's lesbians on tour. You don't want to associate with them. You don't want anybody thinking you're a lesbian. You won't get any sponsors. You won't have a career. And so I was just like terrified. So like when why
is this failing? Are you there? Why can't I hear you? This is breaking my heart right now. Are you there, KK? Yeah, I don't know why on your audio I can't hear. Can you hear me? We'll do it again. All right, I got you. Send it, girl, send it. If you want to, let's see, KK, if you're there to send the live view, or I'll send you one. I'm going to send you one to join now, Keala. Boom. Did you get it? All right. Did you get my request, KK? There we go. Waiting, connecting. We're back. This is the hardest part, It's nice to be here and doing this for everyone, but we need to just do it in person. Thanks for your patience and help.
No worries. We'll do it in person when quarantine is over. Don't worry about it. I come to LA all the time. I'm in the South Bay all the time.
I love it.
Yeah.
So tell me, come on, you were so good on the subject of being in the surf industry and coming out. And
when I joined the tour, there was just these like cautionary tales of like don't be a lesbian. Don't even hang out with lesbians or anybody that is even they think might be a lesbian, because you'll be a lesbian by association and you won't have sponsors and basically your career will be over. And so like I literally got on tour like terrified because I knew I liked girls. I hadn't acted on it yet, but I was just like, so I went out and like immediately got a boyfriend just like to cover that, because I felt like as soon as I got on tour I was like under this microscope of like everybody was trying to find out if I was gay, and it was almost like, you know, the guys especially, it was like the biggest insult if they could call you a lesbian. You know what I mean? It almost like it was almost like because you, if you were like more masculine and they could call you a lesbian, that somehow diminished your abilities. Like if you were like a really feminine chick and you ripped, like that was really impressive. But if you're kind of like more masculine and you rip, well, you're trying to be a man anyways, so it doesn't really count.
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of the attitude.
And so, you know, on a mental health scale, that had to have been hard, you know, in front of the public, sure, but then behind closed doors, how do you deal with such ostracism?
I mean, I had like really bad internalized homophobia and just extreme self-hatred.
Mm.
Yeah, it was really damaging. I thought about suicide a lot. Um, yeah, it was tough. It was really hard.
Where did you find your peace and motivation to continue moving forward?
Um, I liked winning. I liked winning contests. That felt good. And then I just like, I liked surfing waves like Tahiti and stuff. I liked going on surf trips, you know? But I like, yeah, I mean, when I actually like finally hooked up with a female, I was so terrified because it was like, number one, this just confirms that I'm like the thing I was scared most about. I'm totally gay. And then number two, it's like, oh my God, somebody is going to find out. So I was like, my life on tour, I just lived in fear all the time and just was very closed off, like didn't want to hang out with the other athletes because I didn't want anybody to get too close to me. I need to know my personal business. And so that was just like very isolating and lonely. And then, so like when I would finish a contest and like be done with the tour for a little bit, I would literally like fly to the nearest city, go find my best friend or whoever, and like do a ton of drugs, party my ass off because it was just like I needed, it was just like I was living two extremes. Like I was living a double life, basically. Yeah, I just
And
had to blow off. I had to blow off steam of just being that pent up and that like censored.
God, man, I mean, geez, I want to tell you I'm sorry, you know? It's
All right.
but you're ahead of your time, and you paved a way for people. You know, you're not alone. No, it's, you know, so many of these genres, nobody's actually alone. And you decided to step out, and you decided to say, you know what?
Well,
I don't care what you think about me. I know what's right.
somebody that's in the public eye stepping out.
Man, why is this failing? Are you back? Oh man. This whole internet thing kills me. Thanks, everybody. Hello, KK. You're a hero. Never really actually had this be so bad before. Welcome back.
Hello.
This is a tease.
Yeah, because we get like really into a subject and it's like,
You're teasing me. All right, so we're on the subject of stepping out, but stepping out in public as a public
yeah.
figure.
So like it takes a public figure to step out to make it acceptable, right? Like I remember when Britney and Madonna like kissed at the MTV Video Awards, whatever, you know, and it was on the cover of a magazine. Like I just remember that was like such a moment where it's like, oh my God, like this is really happening, and like people aren't like crucifying this, like it's cool. You know what I mean? But yeah, it takes like people in the public eye, public figures to actually step out to make just normal people feel like it's okay and normalize it, really. You
Well, and
know?
it shows that you are normal. You know, a
Well,
lot of
people
people
are,
look up to you, but they were like, "Oh, you're a person. This is you."
yeah. Yeah, well, most people are afraid of things they don't know, Alex. So if everybody just hides it and is like ashamed of themselves and like, you know, is hiding in the closet, it's like everybody knows somebody that's gay, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, if you know somebody that's gay, or like you have somebody that's gay in your family, like it's not scary anymore. It's just normal. It's just a matter of normalizing it. It's the people that have never met a gay person that are just like completely freaked out.
Well, it's amazing, and I hope by now you can give yourself a hug and say, "Wow, I did make a difference," because you did, and like it's gratitude and thanks worldwide. I'm looking at some of the comments now, and you did that. Did you lose Billabong? Did they drop you because of that?
So when I like officially came out, I kind of like towards the end of my time on the CT, I stopped kind of like hiding it so much. Like I wasn't necessarily like saying I was gay in interviews or anything like that, but like I was bringing my girlfriend to events towards like my last year on tour, and I wasn't saying like this is my friend. I was like, yeah, that's my girlfriend, you know, and people were talking like mad high school rumors about it. You know, I was like the topic of everybody's conversation, which was rough, but I didn't like officially come out. I worked on a TV series for HBO for a year, and I was in Hollywood, and it's like when like left the tour and wasn't under that extreme microscope, I felt comfortable enough to officially come out. You know, I just didn't feel comfortable doing it on tour because it was just such a homophobic, scary, not welcoming environment that I just never felt comfortable. So when I left the tour and I did that TV series, I came out, and then when the TV series got canceled, it was just like a really bad turn of events, because my TV series got canceled, the economy collapsed, and then I was a lesbian. So all my sponsors dropped me except for Billabong. They cut my salary in half. They kept me, but you know, I lost.
I can hear you. Keep going. If it, are you there? Holy shit! How is this happening? Oh my god! Hi KK, you're a legend.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, so you came out, your contracts were up, and you didn't make the tour?
So I quit the tour. I was qualified for the CT,
Uh-huh.
and I got this amazing offer to work as a season regular on an HBO TV series acting, which was like any kid in Hollywood would like cut off their left arm to get like an opportunity like that. And I had gotten to the point on tour where it was like they'd canceled Chopes, they'd canceled Fiji, they're about to cancel Sunset. So it's just like all my favorite waves where I actually dominated were being eliminated from the tour schedule, and they're getting replaced with like Beach Break in Brazil, Beach Break in Europe. So I was just like, this tour is just not, I'm not going to win a world title surfing Huntington Beach and, you know, ankle snappers. So I just was like, I'm going to go do that HBO thing. That's awesome. I had a lot of fun making Blue Crush. I'm going to go try and do that. And so my contracts I think I had like 3-year deals or something. So I still had like a year left in all my contracts. And so I was still getting paid to serve while on TV series, but I gave up my spot on tour because I didn't feel like it was fair to take a spot on the CT, knowing that I was going to be in Hollywood full time, not be able to put everything into my training, maybe miss an event or two. I didn't want to take that away from somebody that's going to like take it serious and be training full time, make it to every event, and really like be going for it. Gave up my spot, and it was cool because Rochelle Ballard was the next in line, so she was on the bubble and she wasn't qualifying. So when I stepped down, she got to have another year on show.
That's crazy. That's a really mature decision, but also risky at the same time. Like I come from
oh my God, everybody's like, this is career suicide. Everybody's like, this is career. Everybody's like, this, like, doing this. I'm gonna go do this. But I was getting Billabong's clothes on my character. Even like I wore a Red Bull beanie, hooking my sponsors up, you know, and I was getting like obviously a ton of exposure because I was on a TV series. So they all like kept me and they were happy. But then, yeah, once the economy collapsed, came out as a lesbian and the series didn't get picked up, like they all just clipped me. It was like the worst month of my life. Like within 3 Red Bull, Converse, Vestal, and Billabong cut my salary in half.
Oh. How old were you?
Yeah, it was brutal. I was like 26, 27.
Who's in your prime? I mean, before your prime.
Yeah, I think my prime happened in my 30s.
Well, that's when I get into the list of the things that you've accomplished. It's crazy what happened after basically 2005. Did we lose you again? Hi, KK. This is crazy. Five o'clock traffic on Instagram.
Serious.
This is nuts. Thanks for keeping.
So I started going on trips. And I started pushing myself in bigger waves. And I noticed if I got like a really big wave, if I got a towed into a massive barrel, then I would finally get the coverage that my sponsors were looking for. Plus, it was a huge rush. So, you know, I got a double page spread in the Surfer Magazine big issue for like a big tow bomb I got at Port Escondido. So I was just like, okay, I like doing this, and this is what's actually getting me the exposure that my sponsors say they need to justify paying me. So, yeah, so I did that for a couple of years, but my salary got cut every year. So my salary got cut every year until like, I think the last 2 years I rode for Billabong, I wasn't even getting paid anymore. I was getting like $3,000 a year in a travel budget, which meant like I had to like front the money, and then like if I showed them adequate receipts and got like enough coverage, they would like reimburse me but I wasn't like, you know, they were paying models like so much money. They kept telling me they didn't have money in the budget for me, or I was unmarketable because they wouldn't say I was a lesbian, but they'd say, you're unmarketable, sorry. You know, that was code for, you're a lesbian, we don't want to put you in our ads.
But I mean, so like on top of you going into, you know, being open about your sex, but you were providing results, maybe better than you ever had being on tour.
Yeah.
To be getting pay cuts wasn't reasonable.
It really fucked. It didn't make any sense, but it really fucked with my self-worth because I'm bipolar. So I take a lot of shit personal, a lot of my self-worth on my results or how much money I'm making or like who my sponsors are. And so I was accomplishing all this crazy stuff and breaking all these records, yet I was getting paid nothing. Like I was getting paid peanut. I wasn't even getting paid anymore. Like the year Billabong completely cut me, I was nominated for and then won the Barrel of the Year at the XXL Big Wave Awards.
Yeah.
Was nominated for an ESPY award and was the first female to ever be invited to the Eddie. And that was the year they got rid of me.
And like me listening to you, I'm like, yeah, it's the surf industry, but it's great to talk about this because I don't think people understand the politics behind the industry, and at times has nothing to do with your ability or what you've been accomplishing. It's what's going on internally with their brand, or them putting their money into models rather than their athletes, really providing historical results that you're doing. And like, hey, it's crazy for me to hear this. It's nuts.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But it's awesome.
Yeah,
But you're the most resilient person, I think. Well, one of the most resilient people in this industry, because you don't stop, right? You then move on, and we finally move into a women's big wave tour. Jaws happens. And like KK's head down, and you're back at putting 100% effort in without a sponsor.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I didn't think of it like that, but yeah, I'm really passionate about it. So
that's the answer. And that's what I'd love. I like listening this day and age is like, where's the backbone come from to keep pushing when you've been driven into a loss of self-purpose and self-worth by a brand that's showed you that, right? With no contract, no money, and it getting worse as you were doing better. Where's the backbone?
It was so weird. It was so weird. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah. And that makes the most sense, that statement. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully when this COVID's over, I can interview people like this live.
Yeah, we got to do this live next time.
So KK, I mean, what do you have to say to people who we all face adversity, and some people pursue their passions and some people don't allow them to end by another's influence, be it a corporate sponsor or somebody saying, hey, you can't do this. You have time and time again proved people wrong, but believed in yourself. And we need more that now more than ever. Like, how do you explain this to people now at this point of your life?
I mean, I think the most important lesson I've learned in my life is just never set limitations for yourself based on other people's opinions. Because if I would have listened to like everybody that told me like women can't surf, women can't ride pipe, or women can't surf chopes, women can't, surf big waves, it's like I would have accomplished nothing in my career if I would have listened to all those people. Like, you have to go figure out what your limitations are for yourself. So.
And in your vulnerability of being so open and honest, how do you let go of the fear of not being worried about what others are going to spread behind your back as rumors or judge you for being you and trying to make someone else's life better for it?
Well, I say my haters are my best motivators. Like all those people that told me I couldn't, talked really bad about me or just shouldn't do things because I was a female. It was like, those are the ones that, like, it really like lit up me to go out and do those things just because they told me I couldn't. So, like, I don't like it.
Well,
I don't like getting shit on. I don't like people criticizing me or putting me down, but
we're just dying here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh man. All right, We're back. Before this internet eats us alive, I want to commend you. This is terrible. Thanks, everybody. We'll bring up one more subject and let Keala leave this torturous internet. KK, thanks for joining. Okay, I got one more question for you.
Yeah,
thanks for sitting with us. KK, I got one last question before we get tortured anymore from this internet connection. Thank you, by the way.
Shoot.
I love your vulnerability in being open and speaking out about mental health. It's the most relevant it's ever been in this pandemic. And how is it for you at this today, you know, going out and in public talking about being bipolar and having your own mental health issue, but doing it and trying to break the stigma to allow others to have it so that you know, we're in this together?
It's Alex, it's funny. It's almost like my second coming out. Like, coming out as a lesbian was hard enough. And now I have to like feel like I have to come out as somebody like with a mental illness. But it's the same thing. It's like we need to normalize it. We need to talk about it. We need to make it not scary, you know, because I think there's a lot of people that deal with mental illness, mental health issues, and they're just so afraid to address it or talk about it or go see a psychiatrist, you know, because of the stigma. And, you know, I've had a lot of friends kill themselves, you know, or try or attempt to, you know. When Sonny tried to hang himself last year, I was talking to Sonny in the weeks leading up to that, and you know, he was very open and honest about his depression on his Instagram and stuff. And I feel like he actually had more than depression. I think he was on the bipolar spectrum. But you know, it's just really hard to take that step to go get help. You know, people are scared to do that, and we need to make it okay to, you know, seek out help. And I think that you're going to see a lot of mental illness coming out of this pandemic. You know, you're going to have people that are going to be like afraid to leave their houses after this, you know. I'm sure there's I actually know people that have committed suicide in quarantine because they could. So, you know, this is something we need to start addressing.
Yeah, and we do, because the news isn't addressing it. And for you to take a stand with your platform and have your second coming out here, another major moment in life, it's beautiful. It's funny to say it. That's a good way to put it, but it's beautiful what you do. It's beyond courageous for people like me, and there's so many of us out there. Like, vulnerability is hard, and honesty, but if we don't do it together, doing it alone is the worst part.
Yeah, and you know, a thing of like, it just takes a couple people to step out and be brave enough, and then other people will feel comfortable to step out themselves or be like, you know what, I think I might need help, or like, yeah, I've been suffering. It needs to be okay to not be okay. You know what I mean? Like, we need to make it okay to not be okay.
And we're human. We all have mistakes. You know, we don't need to punish ourselves for failing or having a bad day. It's just part of being a human.
Yeah, that's just it. Yeah. Or our perception of failing, right?
Right, because that's what we've been told is a failure. Well, KK, thank you for sitting through this tough internet connection. Exactly. I love you. KK, thank you.
I love you too. We'll do it live next time.
Yeah, don't stop. Keep going, please.
I can't stop. Won't stop.
We love you. Let us know how we can help you, KK. You don't have to do it all on your shoulders.
All right. Well, let's hang out the next time I come to South Bay. All right? I miss you.
Sounds awesome. Thank you.